Hello, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, depending on whether or not you're new here. If you are new, you should subscribe. What is your problem? Just do it. I simply cannot understand why you wouldn't want to. It's free entertainment. Today, we are going to be doing a tier list ranking on the Gen 9 Pokemon. This idea comes from this user's name, who I do not want to mispronounce. I didn't take off the tag, but I got another new guy for the lineup. Very, very cute. We love Dratini. Out of frame. Can't stand on its own. Okay, that's really special. So in ranking all of these Pokemon, I had to decide what I was going to rank them on. And I decided the best route to go would be to determine how Pokemon are these Pokemon. Do they feel like Pokemon? Do they look like Pokemon designs? Or have we jumped the shark? Is Game Freak really running out of ideas? I don't really have a specific criteria. Obviously, Pokemon can be literally anything. The through line in all of Pokemon designs that I was able to sort of determine is that Pokemon, you can kind of tell what they're about just by looking at their general artwork. Like, Pokemon are mostly like rounded creatures. They lack texture unless explicitly drawn. Like, you look at Pikachu, but you don't envision Pikachu having fur. That looks like a smooth surface. And you can tell that Pikachu has an overall positive demeanor because it's literally smiling. Pikachu's never necessarily looked like a mouse, but you could always tell that it was some sort of animal, some sort of creature. New Pikachu, after the BBL, New Pikachu looks like a rabbit more so than a mouse, and like you can tell that it uses electricity because that's the shape of its tail. More menacing Pokemon like Rhydon, again, you can tell that it's an aggressor. You can tell that it's some kind of rock dinosaur creature. And you know all of this just from looking at the artwork. So I guess the things that I'm looking for are like simplicity, personality, and I guess concept. Like, is it stupid? I don't know. It's arbitrary. It's a tier list. And these are my opinions. And if you disagree, you should subscribe. We have just over 100 Pokemon to go. This will take a little bit of time. Let's walk through the tiers. So at the top, we have Maximum Slay. It's exactly what it sounds. This Pokemon is an absolute favorite. She will live on in legend. I will be telling my kids about this Pokemon. Second tier is It's a Pokemon. I know what they're about just by looking at them. The middle tier, we have, sure. It's exactly how you would say it. In this tier, this is the bell curve, C minus kind of crowd. Like, you still pass, but no one's giving you a fucking ribbon, Fakemon vibes, again, exactly how it sounds. They look like Pokemon, but something about them feels off. Something about them feels fake. I feel like a certain brand of like quirky or Pokemon that look like existing Pokemon but aren't different enough to set them aside. That's sort of what's going to fit in this vibe. And then Wrong Franchise is something that is here but just doesn't feel like it belongs. I don't like the way that this tier list is ordered, but I've already committed to it. So I guess we're going to go for it. Okay, we're going to start off with the Taurus line. Regular Paldean Taurus will go in It's a Pokemon. And then the other two forms both belong in sure. Very mid. I feel like this is very fair. Paldean Wooper. Do you say Paldea or Paldea? Argue about it in the comments. Paldean Wooper is going to go into... Oh, this is so hard. Except it's not. Wooper's going to go into Maximum Slay. The original Wooper is phenomenal, and we have no exception here. What a great, great, cute little guy. Sprigatito, the weed cat. My fave. My child. Maximum Slay immediately. So cute. I do wish Sprigatito stayed on all fours and was that kind of Pokemon. But you can't always get what you want. Next, we have... I ran into something funny just now, and it's that I don't remember the names of all of these Pokemon. Anyways, middle tier, Yo-Yo Girl goes into Fakemon vibes. I don't love the middle form. Maybe if it didn't have a weird fucking yo-yo, I wouldn't care. That's where she lives. At first glance, I really didn't like Mouscarada, but I've come to appreciate what the design offers, and I think it's going to go in Maximum Slay. I think the fact that the Pokemon designers were able to make bipedal final evolutions for the starters and not have them be like explicit, obvious furry bait. Next we have Fue Coco, and they're gonna go in. Are they Maximum Slay or are they It's a Pokemon? Controversial yet brave. They're gonna go in It's a Pokemon. The design is good, not making waves. Whatever the middle evolution of that one is called, we're gonna put them in like sure. You know, middle evolutions are always tricky, and they're not always good. I think it's the hat. Skeledirge, I think, is also gonna go into Maximum Slay. It looks like if you asked the author of like Soul Eater to draw what they think a Pokemon would be, this has that vibe. I like Skeledirge a lot. I actually think the design is really cool. Quaxley is definite like sure vibes. I like Quaxley, but just not that much. I think obviously it's a duck Pokemon. It's very cute. But just something about the quaff, it doesn't sit right with me. Ooh, okay. We've come to the first one that's really bad, and it's the middle evolution of Quaxley. I'm gonna put this one in wrong franchise. Honestly, Quaxley and Meowscarada kind of look like Sonic characters. But Quaxley has like big Sonic vibes. So this is where, or not Quaxley, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. God, you just like love to correct me. Like it's okay that I'm wrong. You knew what I meant. This one is called Quackaval. Quackaval is gonna go into. Again, I wasn't sold on it, but then I ended up quite liking it. You know what? Maximum Slay has too much actually. Quackaval is gonna go into like it's a Pokemon. Oh, I forgot what this guy is called. Very cute. Is it Maximum Slay? Wink, wink. You know, okay. I'm gonna be. You need to be harsher. It's gonna go into It's a Pokemon. I like both of its evolved forms, but heavy is the head that wears the crown. I just don't know what to do with all of them. I'm gonna say the emo bang on Pig Boy. Gets him landed and like sure. And then Pig Girl is gonna stand in It's a Pokemon. To Dunsparce, this name has ruined my life because it just reminds me of Dun Dun by Everglow. With that being said, it looks exactly like Dunsparce, so I think it's gonna go in It's a Pokemon, but I do really like how it looks. Next we have, what's this one called? Spidops? Or is that the adult form? This cute little spider guy is gonna go in It's a Pokemon. I think it deserves that spot. However, the bigger Rick and Morty spider is gonna go in wrong franchise. This Pokemon was the inspo for this tier specifically because he just looks wrong. It doesn't look right. It literally looks like they plopped a Rick and Morty character into Pokemon. I think this guy's called Nimble. I'm going to put it in like sure. Very much like Nincada vibes. We've seen it before. You know, I thought it was going to be a dual type bug fighting when it evolved, and that was not the case. So that was a little bit disappointing. She loses points. I don't remember what this Pokemon is called, which is actually hysterical because I have notoriously bad luck when it comes to finding shiny Pokemon. Just in general, which is so funny because I play Pokemon so much. Like, not shiny hunting, but I've played all of the games, and a lot of them I've played more than once, and I've encountered very few shinies in my lifetime. So I just think it's camp that I have two Loxic Lovesick girls, Blackpink. If this video hits 1 million views, I'll give one of the shinies away. Okay, next we have the rolling dung beetle Pokemon. I normally probably wouldn't care, but I think the shiny form is really cool. So it is going to go into It's a Pokemon. Then we have the Scarab evolution that is literally gorgeous. This one is going into Maximum Slay. I don't care what anybody else has to say. Shut your ugly mouth. Sorry. I'm really combative today. Okay, next we have Hound's Stone and Grieve Tooth. Those are their names. I'm going to put the smaller guy into like sure, and then I'm going to put the bigger one into like Fakemon vibes. I know that this is going to be like a Halloween staple Pokemon, and a lot of people probably like it. I just don't. That's just my simple and clean answer. I forgot what this one is called, like Ruffle Magical Girl Pokemon. It's going to go into It's a Pokemon. Really cute. I really, really like it. Espathra is my favorite Pokemon from this generation. Top of Maximum Slay. So fierce, constantly serving, amazing, brilliant, beautiful, show-stopping, never the same, always different, totally unique, unafraid to reference or not reference. I think for Rigoraph, oh my god, I can't stand the name. I think the giraffe one is in It's a Pokemon. I think it earns its spot. Okay, I think Wiglet is. You know what? I like that some thought went into it. This Pokemon retreats when you approach it and try to catch it, so you have to, try and throw your ball from a little bit further away. Some design concept came into play. I think it's a sure. It's just like a little water eel, but I think it can live there. I think Wugtrio or whatever the fuck can live right next to her. Oh, next we have, I don't remember what this guy's called, but I think he's Maximum Slay. Great design. Oh, I should have just trusted my gut because I did remember what this Pokemon was called. Veluza, I think is just going to go into Fakemon vibes. I think because this one is bad and not necessarily because it looks like someone else did it. I'm not a big Veluza fan. Okay, next we have Palafin. I think Palafin rightfully deserves a spot in It's a Pokemon along with Finizen. Again, I like the idea behind the hero concept. Ugh, I'm so fucking stupid. Okay, Finizen is the little one, and then Palafin is the big one. So Palafin, hero form. Again, I feel like not a great Pokemon design. Palafin is going to go into sure, because I think the gimmick is interesting. Smoliv, really, really cute. I think it deserves, it earned its Pokemon hood. Dolive, I think, is good too. It's going to go in the same tier next to her sister. Okay, and then Arboliva, I think they jumped the shark a little bit. And by jump the shark, I just mean that I don't like olives. So, just kidding. I'm actually not. I don't like olives, but I don't like that the olives are this deep black color. I think if they remained to be green olives and stayed in this kind of green yellow color palette, I think that would have been significantly better. Okay, Capsicid, I feel like this one can go in Fakemon vibes, and then Scovillain, wrong franchise. I don't know where from, but somewhere else. They're just in the wrong place. Tadpult, sure, passing grade. I think Bellybolt can live right next to it. This Kavroom, whatever, I think this one can live in Fakemon vibes. Honestly, it literally looks like a Kirby reference. It looks like a Kirby villain. It can live there, actually. Revavroom, I think is what it's called. Again, I don't necessarily care for this Pokemon, but I like the gimmick of its existence. So I think it's going to go in sure. Orthworm is a being of destruction and evil. It's too powerful. We simply cannot comprehend all of its natural abilities with our dumb Neanderthal human eyes. It's going to go into It's a Pokemon. It is kind of derpy, but it is what it is. Tandemaus, I think, is Maximum Slay. Is it that cute? I think it is. Mousehold 1 and 2, I think, are both in the sure category. Just who cares? I think one of these is called Citotl, and the other one is called Citotl and Cititan. I think they get passing marks. They can be in It's a Pokemon. Frigibax, wrong franchise. I don't know what he's from. Land Before Time. It's just a no. And then I think the whole evolution line goes in there. I usually tend to really love the pseudo-legendaries, but this one is just beyond reproach. Just too ugly. I can't look past it. I simply cannot. Tatsugiri, okay, it has all three of the forms. I think it's just going to go into Pokemon. I think if this Pokemon was released in Generation 1 with Pokemon Stadium and they had that one game where Lickitung had to add all the sushi onto its plate, or eat all the sushi, I feel like Tatsugiri would be featured. Ooh, Cyclizar. Again, I'm not passionate, but I appreciate the gimmick. Because some of these Pokemon are interesting because they contribute to world building. Did you guys get your Cyclizar license? I got my learners when I was 14. Controversial, yet brave. The whole Pomo, that whole line, Fakemon vibes. I think if they didn't have the quirky tufts of hair, then maybe it wouldn't feel that way, but I lack appreciation for the designs. Even though I used a Pomo Pomot. I want to say Pomo, like mo, like the French word for word. I think it's Wattrel and Kilowattrel. I think Wattrel is going to go into like sure. It's like a shitty Talo. But I think Kilowattrel is very cool. Had I known these Pokemon existed earlier in the game, I probably would have wanted one on my team. Bombardier is weird. It looks like it should be a Stork Pokemon, and then it's not. And then it's also, as a Titan Pokemon, it's like chucking rocks off of a cliff, but it's not a rock type. Like, why is it dark and flying? I just don't understand. Fakemon vibes, not good. Squawkabilly has the same energy as like Chatot. It's going to go in like sure. Flamigo is also going to go into, I think it's going to go with Bombardier, its sister, and like Fakemon vibes. Like, just who cares? Clawix? Cloth? I don't remember her name. That was also going to go in like sure. Not particularly passionate, but it's not the greatest. Knackley. Ooh, Knackley's cute. Okay, I think Knackley's going to go into It's a Pokemon. Its evolved form is going to go into like sure. And then Knacklessus, Knackla Titan, Knackla Giant is also going to go in It's a Pokemon. It was really close. It was really close to Maximum Slay, but I just don't think we could swing it. Okay, this little rock poison guy I think is going to go in like sure. Honestly, its evolved form is beautiful. I think it's Maximum Slay. Especially when you're in Area 0 and like it literally, this Pokemon is like a set piece because it's a gorgeous cosmic flower. I think this one is called Shroodle. Shroodle is a Pokemon and its evolved form is also a Pokemon. Very good Pokemon. I like them both. Fido is also a Pokemon. I don't know if it's Max Slay and its evolved form is next to it. Mastiff and Mabostiff. Sure. We got too many dog Pokemon, I think, in this generation. We haven't had anybody going wrong franchise in a minute. Should I put Squawkabilly down here because they look like the three amigos? I'm really brave for doing this. I'm actually going to put them down here. Next we have Bramblin and its evolved form. Like, really low-hanging fruit. It's cool in an open world game to be walking around and then you see a tumbleweed and then you realize it's a living thing. There is novelty to that. However, at the end of the day, it's still a tumbleweed, so it is a bit mundane. Gimmighoul chest version, it's a Pokemon. Gimmighoul, just the coin. Gimmighoul. I love the name. I think it's very fun to say. I think I'm going to put this one in Fakemon vibes. And I also think Gold, what is this one called? Gold Fuckboy is also going to go in Fakemon vibes. Okay, now we're coming on something really interesting because these are all Fakemon. Ooh, I am struggling to know what to do. Okay, I'm going to put Iron Tusks and it's a Pokemon. I'm going to put the Amoonguss guy and like sure. Sandy Shocks. Fakemon, I think. Yeah. Screamtail, I think it's called. I do think it's really cool, but I think I'm going to put it in It's a Pokemon. I think this one is called Fluttermane. Very cool. I don't like, just open question. I don't know why we needed two versions of Volcarona. I don't think we did. But I think between the two of them, this one is significantly not worse, but less interesting. I feel like if Larvesta had like a middle form, that's where this could live. Silverwing, I don't remember what it's called. Ooh, I also don't remember what the Salamence Pokemon is either. Shadow Moon, something like that. Very cool. Very, very cool. Maximum Slay. Oh, is this one called Iron Tusk? It goes in Fakemon vibes, I think. It doesn't look very good, but it's like kind of cool. This one, Future Volcarona, I feel like it's a Pokemon. Hariyama is also a Pokemon. Iron Ugulus. That feels like it should be a German word, so you don't pronounce the J, but I simply do not know. Belongs in sure. Tyranitar belongs in sure. Honestly, the Delibird reveal is really good. Like when you're playing the game and all of the other characters are like, oh, it's just a Delibird. And then it ends up being really strong. And then I think this one is called Iron Valiant. It's also going to go in sure. The Treasures of Ruin Pokemon, I actually think are all very cool. Like very well designed, great legendaries. I do kind of wish that they all took a more specific visual reference from other Pokemon. Like particularly Qianpao looks like Persian, which I think is like a cool, subtle nod. So it maybe would have been nice to see elements of other Pokemon folded into the other ones. With that being said, they're all very well designed. Very, very cool. I love Tianpao very, very much. But all of them are going to go into Maximum Slay. This one looks like a Shadow of the Colossus. Another one in Max Slay. Okay, I feel like it's time. I have to have the courage to be bold. That is a deep cut 90s Pokemon reference, and if you don't know that, we need to add a new row. But I've added in a new tier that is just called For the Furries, and that is where Koraidon and Miraidon are going because that's who they're for. You can't tell me that you saw the box art and you saw all the pre-release material and you didn't think that this wasn't to cater to a specific demographic. I think that people at Nintendo know that adult Pokemon fans are really horny. And I think they're doing it on purpose because this was no accident. Their cycle forms, very cool. They can go in It's a Pokemon. Honestly, the Tinkatink line, Tinkatina, Iron Tina, Small Tina, I think they're all Maximum Slay. Sharkadet maybe is in It's a Pokemon. And then I think the, whatever the fire version is called, is there. And then Cerule Edge is just emo enough to be Maximum Slay. Ooh, Toad School, I think this Pokemon's called. Part of me is like bad, but another part of me is like it's so cartoonish and iconic. Actually, no. Toad School is going to go in wrong franchise because it looks like it's from Steamboat Willie. And that probably is a really deliberate choice just in terms of how it's drawn and how it's characterized. I don't remember what this one is called. Tentacruel on Shrooms, I think is going to go in It's a Pokemon. Could be Maximum Slay. I think the design is really cool. King Gambit can also live in It's a Pokemon. Clodsire can live in It's a Pokemon. Annihilate, I think, belongs in Fakemon vibes. And this is our list. I'm not changing it. I'm not revising. That is so painful that I stopped recording. At least I out loud said where everyone is going. But let's just review the tiers really quickly. So top tier, Maximum Slay. I feel like from this tier, you can really tell that I am gay. It's a Pokemon I feel like is very safe. Like Sure, I feel like is very safe. Fakemon vibes, again, safe. Wrong franchise. You know, for these bottom two tiers, you can't tell me that you don't see it and that you don't believe that in your heart of hearts. I just simply do not believe that to be the case. For the furries, this maybe could have had a couple more Pokemon in it, but I feel like I really picked the hits, and that's who these two guys are for. So this is my tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe. I really wanted to hit 100 subscribers before 2023, but I was not able to get this video out on time. My goal this year is to make a partner. I would really love to see it. And if you're willing to help me, that would be really special. Thank you for watching. If you've made it to the end of this stupid fucking video, good for you. If you're listening to this, you should probably subscribe. I feel like, you know, you have a good enough grasp of whether or not you like me by this point. That is all for today. Pokemon.